So, hello everyone, and guys, welcome to your another important session where we talk about the success of the persons who are just an aspirants a few times back, just like you, and now they are a successful candidates, or I can say a successful officers. And if I talk about today's candidate, I can say about him that success shines brightest when achieved against all odds. So today we have a very special candidate among us, that is all India rank 409 in the UPSC EPFO EO examination, that is Mr. Suyash Agrawal. If I talk about him, he is a specially able individual who has overcome many challenges to clear this examination, proving that no barrier can hold back determination and grit. His remarkable achievement, if I talk about, is a beacon of hope and powerful reminder to all people who have something in this mind, especially able individuals. I think for you, he's a role model. So, welcome, Suyesh, to the channel.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm really humbled with the introduction. Thank you so much, sir.
So, if I talk about you, Suyesh, I just wanted to tell you, you were facilitated by many people at the time of your selection. And how
Mhm.
did it feel? And has the realization of your success, has it fully sunk in your, or is it still that the, I can say, joy of clearing this examination is still there?
Yes, sir. Like it has been nearly 2 weeks that the results have been declared, and honestly, I'm still in that phase where I am enjoying this moment because, as you mentioned in the introduction, that there were a lot of hardships in the journey. But yeah, after the success, I think I have really savored each moment of it after the results were declared, and a lot of people have been congratulating me. So it's just a very wonderful realization that I've achieved something, and I think it's just a beginning. Like there are more things that I want to achieve in my life. So I've got a good enough beginning, and yeah, another very satisfying thing for me is to have brought so much of happiness to a lot of people who were around me, who were supporting me throughout this journey. So yeah, it has been a wonderful 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks.
And in terms of success, as we are discussing, so what does success mean to you? And how would you describe it to do something striving to achieve their goals that someone should do?
Hmm. Yeah. So yeah, sir, success, as it is a very subjective word, but if I were to talk about what it means to me, I think there is success in every day work that you do. Like when you set a goal for your day and you achieve it, it's a success for that particular day. So talking about me getting a rank in this exam is a grand success, I should say. But during this process, I was achieving the minor success, the little successes that kind of compounded to give me this success. So success is a feeling that you get once you achieve whatever you have set for yourself. That's the meaning for me, as I can make it out.
So, Suresh, you have talked about this motivation thing here. So, I would
Mhm.
just wanted to ask you that what advice would you give to these generally specially able students who often
Mhm.
feel low in confidence during their preparation? Because we have seen many people who just
Mhm.
kind of feel low because when this examination came, they have some sort of thoughts in the mind that whether we will be able to compete with the persons. Because we are not saying anything, but sometimes the person oneself in his mind, he kind of feels
Mhm.
low in a confidence. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
in your opinion, what is the inspiration that you have taken where obviously you might have seen these odds also, you might have felt
Yeah.
low also at some point of your preparation. So, how you have overcome this thing and what a person should focus on when he is targeting some specific examination, despite being some
Yeah.
odds?
Yeah, so that's a very important question, sir. And I think it's a universally applicable question for all of us, and especially for specially abled people, because in addition to the exam related challenges, there are other logistical challenges and lot of accessibility related challenges that we as a person face in the course of our preparation. So talking about me, I think having that motivation was very important throughout the journey. And like whenever I used to feel low, I always had the backing of my family. Like, one, I would really want to stress upon the support of the family and having that belief that is there. Like, my mom always used to say that I can do whatever I can desire or what I have decided. So that one feeling and that belief and support from the family is very important. And secondly, in addition to that, if you have access to a good technology base, like if you have got a bit of training in the things that might assist you in your studies, then you are very well placed to do the preparation. And yeah, like whenever I used to feel low, I have maintained some good habits, I think, which have helped me to remain motivated during the course of the preparation, sir.
So just talked about that there is a huge humongous amount of technology, but the point is we need to utilize this technology.
Yeah.
So when I talk about this technology, what are the softwares or resources did you use in your preparation, and how they can
Mhm.
help the people, and how the people could have an access to those softwares?
Yeah, so like talking about the softwares, I think for people who have some reading disability or vision issue, they can use two very good softwares that are there in on the online space. One is called NVDA. This is non-visual desktop access, and this can be downloaded easily using Google. You can simply Google it, and you can install the latest version of it, and this basically helps you to navigate the entire laptop. Like, you can go to Google, you can use Gmail, WhatsApp, web, and everything. Basically, it allows you to use your laptop without using the cursor. It's just that you need a bit of training, or you need to know some commands, and those are also there in their help kit. So it might take a bit of time to get used to it, but within a week or 15 days you can get like decently enough knowledge to use the software. So this is one using which I used to like search for the forms. Even UPSC website I used to go on my own. So all these basic things you can easily do using this software. And there is another software called Kurzweil. This is specifically for reading. If you want to read newspaper, or if you want to read any book, you can scan it on this software and you can start reading it in an audible format. And it has an inbuilt dictionary. It has a function of feature of bookmarking also. So there are a lot of other features that you, if you get through it, you can easily use and read it. So these two particulars, and again, this software is also available on the internet. And like, even personally, I've shared it with 4 5 people. From my laptop, it is also transferable. So these two particular softwares I would highly recommend. Whosoever has some vision issue, they can definitely use this to ace their academic progress.
And now, as we are talking about this software, so do you feel, because it's been a common question which generally comes to the mind, is that because there is limited material available for the students who are specially able, and this is one of the biggest challenge the students face. So you have
True.
just talked about the solution for that, but if I talk about, could you consider them as the biggest obstacle you have faced, or
Mm.
is there any other obstacles which the students also face? Because I think the students will definitely connect on you, because this is something we would feel that is an obstacle, study material. Do you think this is the
True.
only biggest obstacle, or there are other things also which you might have also gone during this preparation, the challenges?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, study material has always been a challenge, but like, in the time of technology, as I've already stated, there are a lot of technologies. Even on phones, there are a lot of technologies which I might not be aware of. So, like, in the time of this fast emerging technology, I think study material has now not remained the biggest challenge, I should say, because you can get the material scanned, and there are a lot of NGOs also, those are working to get the basic reading material. Even for competitive exam, they are getting them recorded or scanned in the soft copy version. So yeah, just getting hold of those material in the right time is has been a challenge. It's just that you have to get in touch with people who are associated with the exam, or the NGO who are associated with such kind of assistance. So apart from that, I think it is not a very big challenge in the time of technology, as I said. Other than that, I think in the process of preparing for an exam like EPFO, or for that matter UPSC civil services, I think it is the challenge of overcoming the temporary, I should say, setbacks that are there in the journey, which is a challenge. Like there are a lot of times when you feel lack of motivation, lack of energy, and there might be some times when you are not performing that well as you might have expected. So all these times, and I think during these times, to get over that setback is a big challenge. And anyone who has that kind of persistence and perseverance, I think those people are the ones who get the success that they have set themselves on. And this is particularly like applicable for especially able students also, because they also have everyday challenges in their life. So to manage them along with the exam related stress and the setbacks and obstacles, all this compound up to create a very big hurdle. So to get over it is a challenge. And I think as I mentioned, that you have to have some support mechanism and a good set of habits that you can develop to overcome that.
I think it's a very important message the Suyesh has shared with, I think, with all of us, is that whenever we talk about preparation now, we have some sort of temporary issues that the notes are not there. I would say we do not have enough time. We have some certain other challenges also, I think. But the most important thing he has highlighted is the psychological barrier. If you just overcome your psychological, because all these are psychological facts which are impacting somehow your preparation. And I think he has very beautifully told about that if you overcome all this thing, so you can stay focused and you can clear this examination. And now, if I talk about, we have just talked about this thing also. We have talked about that daily I used to do something. So,
Yeah,
if I say, guys, Suyesh has a very unique style of motivation. It includes writing journals on daily basis, reading
yeah,
books, and you will be sharing on your screen also now the important two important books. One is Atomic Habit, another one is Deep Work Thoughts. So these are the two important books which has really motivated him also. So I would say I want to know about this journal writing as well as this book in writing, how it has inspired you, because as you mentioned, there is daily at daily level you used to face some certain sort of challenges. So how these things help in motivating you and overcoming these challenges also.
yeah, true. Yes, like I would be really happy to share this thing because it has really helped me in a lot of ways. So first, talking about maintaining a journal. So I call it reflective journaling, and like I have come up with my own method. After like writing it for over 8 years now, and it has like 3 4 sections basically. One, I write about the three things that I'm grateful for, and it lets me to see the positive or the blessings in my life. So it can be as small as having a decent internet connection in my home. So again, it might sound a bit philosophical, but if you think it in depth, then it really keeps your mind positive, and it lets you be optimistic throughout the day. So this is one section of my journal. Secondly, I write the daily happening. So it's like a section of diary entry where I just write whatever I've done that particular day. And the third section is about affirmations. So this is the section where I used to think about the goals that I've set for myself, or anything that I've planned for that particular day or for that particular week, because I've also been preparing for civil services exams alongside this particular exam. So there are a lot of things that I had to do, and I used to keep affirming myself of what exactly I have to do on that particular day, and that kind of helped me to be focused on that particular day and achieve that minor successes that I've talked about earlier. And finally, the reflective part is something where I used to do occasionally reflective writing, where if there is any setback, I used to basically think on paper. Like there, whenever you feel low, generally you get trapped in the mental thought. There are a lot of thoughts going around, but when you write it on paper, it you get an objective analysis of whatever is going in your mind, and then you can objectively analyze what exactly is creating a problem or creating any kind of anxiety in you. So these four sections largely make the part of my journal, and I've been doing it, and it has kept me motivated throughout the course of the preparation. So this is about journal entry. And secondly, book also, like I've developed a habit of reading non-fiction books, and that too, there's this particular self-help and personality development genre. And sir has mentioned like the two books, Atomic Habits and Deep Work. And both these books are really revolutionary, and I think it has universally applicable ideas. For example, if I talk about Atomic Habits, it talks about focusing on the process and not on the result. So, even though you have the goal of clearing an exam, that is not in your direct control. What is in your direct control is how much study you do on a daily basis, how many tests you solve on a daily basis. So these are things that is in your direct control, which is kind of indirectly controlling the result. So this is a very fundamental lesson that I got from this particular book. And I would also want to talk about the lesson from Deep Work book. Like this is also a very must read, especially in the times of distraction, a lot of distraction of social media and everything. So this book also talks about how you can. It gives a formula of work achieved. So it talks about work achieved is equal to time spent into intensity of focus. So using that formula, I also used to maximize the result of my study sessions. And there are a lot of very useful ideas in both these books, and there are other similar books also that I've read. And combinedly, these two habits have literally created a very instrumental role in my journey so far.
I think this is really, really good to see that. See, in the things whichever you think you can take it as a hobby, but you can see it's a very good example. You said that when I used to read Atomic Habits, I used to relate with my examination, how to
True.
solve mock tests, what to know, and in terms of deep work also how to avoid distraction, because these are the common issues I think many of us face. And
Yeah.
now, when we've talked about this motivation journey, you have talked about your examination journey. Now let's begin a little bit about your. Let's talk about your examination journey, because you, as you mentioned, that you have given the UPSC Civil Services examination. So he has appeared for four examination. In the first two, I would say that he was not so, I could say, sure, or he has just given it as a glimpse of giving this examination. And I just wanted to
Mm.
know, because the first serious attempt that you have given for civil services examination
Yeah.
was in the year 2023. And in
True.
the same year, you transitioned yourself for going towards this EOA examination. So I just wanted to know that how this transition came in your journey, because it's just because when we have given the examination, let's say our first
Mm.
attempt, first serious attempt, then we have a
True.
lot and lot of hopes, and we generally do not thought about any other examination. So how your
True.
transition happened?
Yeah. So, like talking about how it happened with me, like I filled the form for EPFO exam when it was released in Feb 2023, and at that particular time, I was not very sure of how I'm gonna prepare for it and how it's gonna pan out, because the dates were also not finalized by then, and I was more serious about my civil services examination. So like once I wrote my civil services prelims in May 2023, by that time the date for the EPFO exam was also there. So I think for me personally, it was the fact that I always wanted to have a good backup with me when I was deciding to prepare for civil services, because it's a very well known fact that there's a lot of uncertainty around the civil services exam. Like the success rate is very low, and there are a lot of other factors that come into play. So I always wanted to have a good backup with it. So I filled the form, and like unfortunately I couldn't clear the prelims that year, and I had a gap of close to 25 days between the prelims results and the EPFO exam. So in that duration, I think I made up my mind that I this is a very good opportunity for me, and a lot of syllabus is overlapping with the civil services prelim. So I just focused on the sections that were new in that particular paper, and I kind of just brushed up on those things, and I gave the test. I since I was already in that mindset of solving objective based questions, I think I was able to grasp it on with a decent enough pace, and I was able to clear the exam, I think.
As you've just mentioned that within 25 days you transitioned yourself, and then your
Yeah.
plan becomes your plan A. But I wanted to ask you a very big question, because when I talk about civil services, our main goal generally the students used to, whenever we talk about our successful attempt, we always say that our mains is very, very good. We are
Sure.
very habitual in terms of writing descriptive answers. But
True.
on the other hand, contrary to this examination, EO is a completely objective based paper.
Yes,
So were
question.
you very inclined towards that thing? Were you very, it was very easy, smoothing transition preparing
Hmm.
for this objective paper? Or is there again some challenges that you have faced? Because this examination is a little bit on a factual side, not a
True.
similar UPSC civil services examination that's more of a, of I can
Hmm.
say, intellectual based papers, or more kind of your uh, what we say generally is a practical based paper. So it's a
True.
little bit of factual paper. So what was the challenge? Is it a challenge for you, or was it just a smooth transition there?
I think I would not call it a very smooth transition, but yeah, since the nature of the paper was objective based, from that angle, I did not have to make a lot of changes in my preparation strategy, because from March 23 onwards, I was solving a lot of mocks for civil services examination. So I just continued with it even for EPFO. Like I went through not more question papers, but a few of them, and I just went through the question that have been asked in the previous years, and few mock papers as well. So yeah, but yeah, there's one change, or one difference in the kind of questions that have been asked. As you mentioned, that EPF exam is kind of more factual oriented. So I think I had to kind of reread the portions that were there for civils. For example, in polity and in modern history, like in civil services, you have statement based questions, so that is different from what is asked in EPFO, where a lot of facts is also involved. So like in that short span of time, I had to literally mug up a lot of things from that particular subject. And again, subjects like accountancy, industrial relation, and labor laws are again one new subjects for me. So from that angle also, I think covering this much portion in the short span of time was a challenge for me. But yeah, other than that, the nature of paper was not very much to bother about.
As you've just mentioned, that obviously when you're preparing for civil services, I think it would. I have talked to many aspirants, and I think one of the common problem, I will not say problem, one of the common hindrance for the UPSC civil services aspirants were that the three topics: accounting and auditing, industrial
So,
relation, labor
mm,
laws. So were these
no.
the only three fears you have, or is there any other subject also that has really haunted you?
So yeah, I think these three papers, they were new to me, but these paper were interesting at the same time, because I found I didn't read accountancy even my school. So when I was reading it, it was a very interesting subject. So accountancy, industrial relations, and labor laws, even though they were a new topic for me and slightly bulky, also there are a lot of labor laws that we had to read. But I kind of enjoyed it reading. But I would say that subjects like general science and computer aptitude were the ones which I was not very comfortable with. Like in computer aptitude, again, I'm not very computer savvy person. So from that angle, reading a lot of facts about computers, and and even general science was also different from what is asked in UPSC. Like in that, you have science and technology, different other biotech and nanotech, and general science is pure factual based that we used to read in the school. So these two subjects, I think, I was facing more difficulty than the other three subjects.
And as you mentioned about this difficult subject, so I just wanted to ask you that because I think you were preparing for civils as you mentioned, within
So,
25 days, one there are two subjects which are really haunting you, like general science,
mm,
computer, and there are other subjects which are completely new to you. So how
so,
have you managed these last 25 days of your preparation going before
so,
the examination in terms of these five subjects? Because generally, every the rest subjects you are familiar for civil from civil services. How you have
so.
managed these topics?
So yeah, like once I got to know the exact syllabus of it, I went through few question papers. I realized that computer aptitude and general science are the two portions which I would find it difficult to cover, and to get that confidence going into the exam. So I had a very cursory look on these two papers. General science, I think I did not read much, honestly. I thought like whatever I know. I'll just go with that base of knowledge. Computer aptitude, I got like some YouTube videos from where I kind of covered few things, and again in that also covered basics material. For example, the hardware, the software, the things, the memories. There's a lot of small topics which we are familiar about. I just read on them. And for the other three subjects, I focused mainly on accountancy, industrial relation, and labor laws. Again, I got some material on online platforms, some reading material of labor laws. I also read directly some of the files that were available on the ministry's website, but not in great detail because I didn't find them very helpful. But yeah, in general, some YouTube playlist videos as well as some reading material from the online thing. I kind of read the questions, previous year questions, and then I went through the material. And in the 20-25 days, I think my largest focus was on these three subjects because the other portion was fresh in my mind because of the civil services and the general science and computer aptitude. I just had a superficial reading on the subjects, and I think I left a lot of questions from this portion, if I remember, in the main exam also.
So as this is one something I want to ask you, because as you've just mentioned about looking at the previous year question papers, in terms of
Mhm.
EO examination, if I specifically say that this year's examination, the PYQs have not helped, because if you look at the examination in
Mhm.
2017, 2020, the questions, if we talk about here, the EO AO
Mhm.
paper was being seen that it is on a lighter note. It's an easier examination if we compare it to the APFC examination.
Yeah,
This year, it was a complete role reversal. The
yeah.
EOA examination was completely out of the box.
Mm-hmm.
Look, completely look like a what it's complete start. The student starts panicking there. And
Yeah,
on the other hand, APFX examination was an easier examination.
examination. Yeah.
Now, because you have read very selective topics in terms of
Mm,
general science, computer aptitude, and as you're mentioning, industrial relation, labor laws, and accounting also you have done in the last 25 days. So if we look
mm,
at these questions, they are carrying
mm.
a very huge weightage in this examination. And the
True.
examination was on also on a tougher side. So
Okay.
how have you managed yourself in the examination? Because obviously you might also have feel anxiety
True.
sitting in the
True.
examination. So how you
Mm.
overcame that thing?
So I think personally, what worked for me was my mental attitude of solving a lot of mocks for civil services. Because honestly, as you might have realized, that I was not fully prepared for the EPFO exam. I had a very short span of time, and I also selectively covered the topics. But like the polity, economy, modern history, and current affairs, like 4-5 sections of mine was decently covered because of the civil services preparation. And from the little bit of knowledge of the other subjects, I think I went with that confidence of solving questions in the exam, and that kind of helped me. For example, in the civil services, I had a mindset that I have to solve this number of questions. For example, there were 100 questions. I used to solve 85 to 90 questions, out of which I would want to have 60 to 65 correct attempts, and that was the calculation that I did for the civil services. And similarly, for EPFO exam also, like in the first round, I solved those questions, which I was very comfortable. And in the second round, I think having that elimination technique to some extent, and to have that intuition, because you have read so much of information that you can come to a correct answer, and you at times you also have to make some guesses. So I think I was a little courageous to mark some of the questions which I was not fully sure about, and I think that those questions might have turned out to be correct. So this overall, the mental attitude of having confidence of attempting questions, a decent number of questions, was helpful despite paper being on a difficult side. And like in 23 civil services also, like if the people can relate, the UPSC completely changed the pattern in 23 prelims. So they completely like introduced a new set of questions. They changed it from which of the above statements to how many of the above statements. So like that was also very difficult. So I managed in that exam also. So similar was the case with the EPFO exam also. Like to have that temperament in the exam hall to just do whatever and then take some bold decisions in terms of attempting a decent number of questions.
And now when you came out of this examination, as you mentioned that you were calm, You know
Yeah.
your experience of solving mock tests has come forward. But when you came out of the examination center on that day,
Hmm.
were you really expecting that okay, I would be able to clear the EOO examination, or were you of
Hmm.
that opinion? भाड़ में गया examination. Let's try again, go on civil services examination route because I think I will not be able to clear this examination. So, what was your thought?
Well, honestly, I think like I was not expecting to clear the exam because, as you said, that a lot of facts that were involved in it, and like I kind of attempted a decent number of questions, but I was not fully sure whether I'll be able to clear the cutoff or not because of my not so fully prepared wala thing. But again, I guess my this mental resilience and the temperament in the exam they came to my aid, and a lot the decent number of questions got corrected and I was able to clear the exam.
And now, Suresh, if I talk about here, when the results of the EO examination were very quick to came, if we
True.
could talk about from the UPSC perspective. But after
Yeah.
that, the journey again becomes, I would not say boring, but the journey again becomes quite interesting because then you
Hmm.
have a time of around 1.5 years. Your
True.
interviews was not being conducted because I think it was in the month of July, your results were out. But it
True.
was next year, 2024, October or November, the interviews got started.
Interconducted.
So within
True.
that time, you got busy in civil services examination as you have as we were discussing. But when your interview date came out, so what was
Hmm.
your reaction? Were you really preparing for the interview, or you were completely thinking that okay, let's leave this examination, let's again just only see yes, is the main thing.
Yeah, so like with me, it was a very roller coaster kind of a journey because I remember July 23, the results were out. September 23, the DAF for the EPFO exam was out, and I filled the form. And for the next 20-25 days, I dedicatedly prepare for the interview. I thought like in October, November 23, the dates might come out, and I have to go for the interview. So I like devoted close to a month in that preparation, and then when I saw no response, no news from the UPSC side, then I shifted to my UPSC civil services preparation again. And then when in October 24 the dates were announced, I was honestly very exhausted at that time because I'd just written the civil services mains, which got over on 29th September. And I remember the dates for the interview was uploaded on 10th or 11th October. So I had made up my mind that for 2 or 3 weeks I would not do anything. But suddenly the dates were out, and literally I was like, एक साल से आया नहीं and आया है तो अब आया when I was on a break kind of a thing. So again, it took me 2 to 3 days, and I remember from 14th, 15th October, I started preparing for the interview. Like by that time, I had almost on a different trajectory of civil services. So from 15th October, I should say that 15th October to 4th November, I very sincerely prepared for the interview.
So, as you have given many mock interviews also for this examination preparation, and what
Oh,
would you suggest to students? Because does real mock really helps in the examination, and you have also given mock in the EduTap's interview guidance program also. So, what was your
oh,
experience? Do these mocks have really helped you, or is it something that you felt that this is a replica? Because this is
yeah.
again something that this is something being asked to me in the mock interviews, and same thing has been asked to me in the final interview. So, was this thing that has happened with you also?
Yeah. So yeah, like since again I was trapped in a very short span of time, I kind of prepared since seriously for it, and I'd already enrolled into the EduTap's IGP last year itself. Last year, as in 2023, and I'd gone through all the material that were provided. So first, if I were to talk about few important materials that helped me in the preparation, one was the past year transcripts of the aspirants who have qualified the EPFO exam. Those were really helpful to get to know the kind of questions that generally are being asked by the panelists. And from there, I got to know that hobbies and your educational background and a decent enough knowledge of EPFO is quite mandatory for the interview. And secondly, there are a lot of sample DAFs and some value addition material that was there, like EPFO 2047, the citizen charter, and a lot of other information that was there on the program. And these things, it prepared the base of knowledge that was very much essential for the interview. And when I also gave the mock interview, there also I remember one particular question about the wage ceiling for the EPFO Act. This question was exactly repeated in the main interview also. Like this was asked to me in the mock interview whether there is a need for revising the wage ceiling, and this very same question was asked in the main interview also. So overall, if I talk about the utility of the mock, it was really helpful to understand what kind of to diversify the perspective. For example, I come from a from an industrial town of Korba, Chhattisgarh. So there are a lot of industries in my hometown. So by the time I was preparing, I did not go into detail about how EPFO Act implements in this industry. So when I was giving the mock, there was question being asked, and later in the feedback also they asked me to have a on-field knowledge also. So in the span of 1 week, I gathered some knowledge on that regard also, and I think that was reflected in the way I was answering in the main exam, because I had like both kind of knowledge, the descriptive knowledge and as well as the on field knowledge of the act that is implemented by EPFO. So yeah, I mean, all in all, it was a great learning experience with the EduTap's IGP program for me.
And as we talk about now the mock interviews we've discussed, now let's talk to the final interview. So,
Mhm.
was your final, as you mentioned, there are some questions, similar questions were being asked in the final interview, but still, when we will talk about the journey, I think the interview is one thing which is known as the final needle in a, I would say, the
Mhm.
final hurdle to be crossed. You have
Absolutely.
crossed all the hurdles when your final hurdle, the interview started. So was it a
True.
very smooth interview, or is there is something where you slightly felt that this is not going on the right path? It has
Mhm.
completely changed, and I might not. Still, you felt that okay, I might not be able to clear the
Yeah.
examination.
So yeah, like talking about interview, when I went inside the hall, the interview room, the chairman was very cordial, and the way my interview went when I came out, I was really satisfied and I was really happy, because it was a very good interview. Like whatever questions they were asking, I was able to answer, and a lot of questions, and only one question I think I was not able to answer satisfactorily. But other than that, I think my knowledge base of EPFO and my educational background, I was very much clear about it. So all in all, it was a very great interview personally for me. Like there were three members, all the questions that they were asked, they asked me, I was able to like answer it very properly. So from the interview side, I was very much sure. When I was waiting for the result of the exam, I was thinking that if I don't clear, it would definitely be because of the written test. Because from the interview side, I was honestly on a very positive side. That this was the one of the best interviews that I can think of.
So now, while we have discussed the interview part, we have discussed your motivational part, but I think your interview, anything for a aspirant cannot
Mhm.
we cannot conclude it unless and until we talk about the family contribution. So if I talk
So,
about this, that who has been a support and a kind of a person who has encouraged you the most during your preparation, which you
um,
always say there will be many unsung heroes, but if I talk about some unsung heroes you want to mention in this journey, so who are they?
So yeah, like a lot of people who have contributed ever since my school time, I would say, and since I have some issue as well, so their role becomes even more pronounced, I should say. So first, the very first thing is to always the parents are there, and my parents have always been a pillar of support behind me, and especially my mom, she has never let me feel that I have any kind of a very issue kind of thing. She has always encouraged me to see it as a challenge, an opportunity to do something despite this kind of an issue. So I think my mom has always stood behind me. If I were to say, like when I was going to Delhi also for my undergraduation, she accompanied me to Delhi, and she stayed with me for 2 years there. And even when I was doing my masters, she was there for a while with me, and even during the course of the preparation, like I always had her backing in my preparation. And yeah, similarly, my father and my siblings were also there. All my documents, all my financial requirements, and all my things that I had to do on a certain time. These were very well managed by my siblings and my dad. And similarly, there are three, four friends that are there. Few from the UPSC background, few from the school time, who are doing their respective things. They were also there to have some casual conversation, let's say about cricket, or let's say about anything, random politics talks. So all these kind of conversations were very essential to lighten your mood at times when you feel overwhelmed by the process of examination. So yeah, all in all, this is the support system that I was talking about. This is very important when you prepare for any exam, or for any endeavor whatsoever, I think so.
And I think it's really great. So, Suresh, this is, I think your journey is really remarkable. So, I wish you all the best. And if we say on the concluding line, any
Sure.
message you want to give to the students, I would say obviously to all students, but to those students for
Mm,
whom you will really be a role model. Many students will be getting inspired from you. If you can achieve, they will also think that they can also achieve. So, any final concluding line from your side to all the aspirants are, if they are preparing for UPSC or any examination, if they just started, anything.
mm. Yeah, so I think I would just want to reiterate the process, the thing which I talked from the book called Atomic Habits, that whenever you decide on any goal, I think you just need to focus on your process. And if your process is right, I think you would be well placed to get to the goal. And even if you don't achieve your goal, I think if you focus on the process, you will become a revised version of yourself in that entire journey. So that has been the case with me. And yeah, I think it is I always get inspiration from the words of Swami Vivekanand, that is उठो जागो and आप जब तक प्रयास करो, तब जब तक आप अपने लक्ष्य को प्राप्त ना कर लो। तो ये जो स्वामी विवेकानंद जी की लाइन है, ये मुझे हमेशा ही इंस्पायर करते आई है, और मेरे ख्याल से ये this line can motivate a lot of other people as well. So yeah, just have that support mechanism, and have that few set of quotes, or few set of stories in your mind to be motivated for any exam, be it the civil services, be it the EPFO exam. And yeah, you can always seek guidance from your mentors, and that I think you will be very well placed for it.
So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Suyesh, for giving us your precious time. It was really nice talking to you, buddy. And I wish you all the best for your
Yeah.
future success. And I hope there will be
Yeah.
many things which you are inspiring in future and you achieve
So
those things also.
yeah, thank you so much, sir. It was really precious time for me also, sir. Really glad to have contributed to your platform, sir.
Thanks a lot. Suyesh.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, so thank you, Suyesh, and I hope you have enjoyed this
Yeah, yes,
your
sir.
success interviews. And
Yeah.
I hope you are feeling relaxed also now, because initially
Uh,
I was feeling that there might be something, lots and lots of things going into you. So I hope now it's all
uh,
done.
yeah, it's all settled now, sir. Yeah, it's all
Okay.
good. Yeah, and also I just wanted to say, I have cleared this exam, and I've also written civil services mains also. So from EduTap, if anyone wants to get in touch with me, I would be really glad to directly get into call with them also. So whatever the like EduTap can be a platform for me to get in touch with the aspirants who might want to talk about anything, because I don't consider myself to an expert or anything of that sort. It's just that I've learned few things in the course of my preparation. So I want to share it with the people who might be starting their preparation, or in the middle stage of it. So yeah, just wanted to convey it to you. You can ask your team that if at all anyone wants to get in touch with me, I would be happy to share my email or phone number, whatever it is.
Thanks a lot, Susha. I will definitely convey this message to the team also. Okay, and
Yeah.
it's really it will be an honor for all of us that when students like you come forward and they said we are ready. Let's make other aspirants also the officer. Thanks a lot.
So thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay,
Yeah.
Suresh. Bye bye, buddy. Okay.
Okay. Bye, bye, sir. Yeah.